Welcome back to another episode of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and this time we're looking at the Makoto Kurosaki SG-2 Gyuto 210mm knife. So the core steel used in this construction is SG-2, also marketed as R2 steel, depending on the maker. Basically the same formula. It's a fully stainless powdered metallurgy, really excellent PM type fully stainless steel. Heat treats around 62 Rockwell, so they don't take it super high, so you'll get a little bit of a good balance between edge retention and some forgiveness there. The construction is a softer stainless steel cladding on either side of that core steel, so it's a 3-layer construction. And it looks like the cladding does come over the top of the knife, the spine. So it's an all stainless construction. The weight and dimensions would be pretty similar from knife to knife. This one's 170 grams or 6 ounces, right on the money. Edge length is right about 210mm, right on the money, 8 1/4 inches from the tip all the way down to the back of the heel. The chin is what that's called. The overall length about 13.2 inches. The spine thickness is basically it's a 1.9 thick piece of metal and then shaped to size. So it's pretty much consistent all the way down. It doesn't have a ton of distal taper. It tapers out towards maybe the last 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, that's just this style. It tends to retain a lot of that thickness, so it's a pretty stiff blade. The blade height is 46.1, so it's got pretty good height to it. And you'll see the handle's not real wide at the neck here and the bolster, so you've got lots of clearance there for your fingers on the cutting board. The handle is really cool. It's what I really like about these is two things. The aesthetic is awesome. It is a black linen micarta, which has a very kind of fine-grained appearance to it. And then micarta is also very stable. It's more stable than pack-a-wood. So it's excellent stability and really bulletproof material. I use this a lot on outdoor knives and hunting knives and hard-use knives, survival knives, and so on. So it's a great product for this. It's a partial bolster, so you'll see the bolster, the tang comes out and then through the back and then gets cut off. And I would imagine it's probably in this area here, enough to go through with the rivets. So that lightens up the handle a little bit. The handle is maybe slightly on the slimmer side. It's rounded. It's quite rounded. The slabs aren't hard edges on them. And again, if you've got smaller hands, you might love this. Bigger hands, you'll have to see how this indexes for you. But I'd say it's a medium-ish handle, maybe slightly on the thinner side. It's not super thin this way, but it's fairly rounded, which makes it feel a little smaller. So it should excellently accommodate kind of medium to a little bit smaller hands perfectly. The balance point, due to that tang not being full tang, is going to lighten it up a little bit and bring it up just in front of that choil, the back of the blade. So that's a good compromise for a pinch grip or a racket style grip. It'll work well either way. Finish is quite nice on these. There's a machine finish on it and then some etched kanji and symbol, maker's mark. You can see the machine finish on the blade. You can definitely see the layer there. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it here. It's a little tricky with the way that I want to show the kanji, but kind of tough here. Let's try that. So that's the right side of the blade as you would be holding it, using it. This is the left side of the blade. And again, you can, if we look a little closer, you can see that layer there. It's a little tricky. This is the edge bevel. Very nice out of the box edge. I shouldn't say out of the box. This had the card in it that was sharpened by Alton at Chef Knives to Go. Use their in-house sharpener. And the box details the list of stones and strops that were used, and it's quite sharp. I'll say 6, maybe 7 out of 10. One of the things you'll find with the powdered metallurgy steel like this is it takes a little more work to get it sharp. It stays sharp a really long time, and the edge retention is excellent on the steel, but it takes a little more work to get it really razor sharp. And you kind of tell that using this one, and Alton's got a lot of knives under his belt, so he's no slouch in the sharpening department. He's very good, but the carbon steel knives that he also did in the same box of knives I got were noticeably sharper. And it's really not his skill level, it's the steel. The steel just takes a little bit more work to get really sharp, but it'll hold an edge really well. So it's excellent for a professional environment. So this is a really nice knife. Let's take a look at the cutting board profile. So this one has a fairly curvy profile. You can see the tip, especially towards the very, very tip, they've kind of brought it up a little bit. I think some of that is Alton's technique. He tends to be pretty aggressive on the tip to kind of thin that out a little bit. And so I can get pretty high on this. I can get way up there. So this will be a nice rocker. It doesn't have a ton of flat spot, but there's a little bit towards the heel, not a lot. But it should work quite well for rocking, push-pull cuts. It's not a pure chopper, but it's a pretty versatile profile. So just a neat looking package, great steel, excellent edge retention, bulletproof handle. This would be great in a professional environment, as I mentioned. And it's a cool knife. So this is the Makoto Kurosaki SG-2 Gyuto 210mm knife.